Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Age of Decadence with me, Cornish-Knight. Now, before I start, I'm just going to make a quick comment that this game does contain mature language and, well, fighting basically. So, if you do not wish to witness that, I suggest you watch something else right now. But let's dive right back in, shall we, to our adventure. Last time our employer just died and the bloke we'd gone with to try and sell his stuff had just got murdered, so it wasn't quite fantastic. Hear anything interesting? The innkeeper shrugs, same shit, different day. Let me ask you something else, I inquire. Lord Antidas, I suppose that's the head of House Ratton in charge of everything. Great man, says the innkeeper without hesitation. The town's blossomed under his wise rule. We were all very, very grateful. You can tell that to his lordship. I'm not. Of course not. What am I saying? It's a perfectly normal question. People ask me that all the time and I always tell them what the great man Lord Anantite is. You can tell that to his lordship. Basically, so he's terrified of the guy. House Ratton. It's a noble house. It's the noblest of houses, a ray of light in the utter darkness. We sort of mentioned that to Lord Atton. What about House Uridian? Yeah, it is Uridian. House Uridian. House Uridian controls Madoran, the largest and richest city that dwarfs both Tehran and Ganesa. No matter what they tell you, Ricatus, Cornulia, size does matter. What does Lord Goliath want? What does any lord want? More power. He doesn't want to be restricted by his peers, nor does he want to be up with the Imperial Guard who wants them to bend their knee to him. All of them. Tehran, Gneza, Chartor. Now some might say that Gaius does a fine job running Doran, and that maybe we could let him run the rest, but that's not going to happen, at least not without major bloodshed. What is a few towns? Why do you think many were destroyed during the war and many were destroyed after, when the infighting began? Every now and then people head out in a futile attempt to try and start a new life. Some last a few weeks. Others, if they pick the right spot, last a few decades. Sooner or later they all fall. Why? It's not easy out there. They say the land is dead, the air is poisonous and the water is scarce. If they don't kill you, the raiders would. How do the raiders survive out there then? Raiders know the land better, know where to find water and which areas to stay away from. Not to mention that the raiding is easier than the breaking of back all day trying to get something to grow under the scorching sun. So basically this world is quite well and truly screwed. From what we can see, it's barely holding together. If you want to use a room, you have to pay first. Okay, so we can't go into the back room. Anybody in here we can talk to? Alchemist, maybe? You see a man in his 40s. At first glance it seems as though he stares at you unflatteringly. But when you realise that he has a glass eye, his face and hands are covered with burned scars, and unless you're mistaken, he's missing a couple of fingers on his left hand. Never seen a real alchemist before? Asks the man, his voice raspy and rough. What do you want? Like about alchemy. I'm not really interested in learning alchemy, not with this character. Storyteller. What has he got to do? The storyteller, he sees the inn's patrons beginning to gather around a strangely garbed man who paces in circles muttering. A murmur of expectation runs through the room, and sure enough, the man stops his pacing, turns, and with dramatic flourish cries out, "A tale!" And all are quiet now. But the man's rich, deep voice rolls out to fill the silence. A tale for tonight's entertainment. And what a tale! History itself will unfold before your very eyes. A tale of mysteries and wonders. Come and listen. Stay and listen. The smile drops from the storyteller's face, his brow gathers into a frown, he begins to speak in a low, sombre tone. The Great War raged across the Empire. The frenzied Quantari, burning and looting their way across the land, our brave legions fighting to stem the tide. But though we could hold the Quantari themselves, even they were not a match for the terrible demons that Quanti had brought with them from their homelands. Our loyal soldiers were slaughtered by the thousands. The Empire's magi sought to counter the terrible might of the demons with their magic, but even though they worked feverishly to devise new spells, it was no use. The demons struggled off every incantation the mages hurled at them. Desperate for the solution, the Empire summoned Abu Hassan Ibahada al-Sarib, the first of the Magi, to his side in the holiest of chambers deep under the palace. "O learned one, tell me," said the Emperor. "Tell me what you have found the solution, O wisest of my servants. Tell me that you have discovered some weakness in the accursed Quantari demons. Tell me we can destroy these monsters who feel no pain, fear, or never tire or rest." And Abu Hassan Abahadad did stroke his beard gravely. The storyteller stops to mime Abahadad's gesture, folding his arms, looking thoughtfully and stroking an imaginary beard to chuckle to the audience before continuing. And he said to the Emperor, "We must seek allies." The Emperor looked at Abahadad in bewilderment. "Allies? What allies could we call upon?" The Emperor stretched from coast to coast. "All men except the steppe nomads rally to fight under my banner. There's no more allies to call on." "Mortal allies? Yes. But there are others. There are other worlds than this one, my Emperor, higher than the eye can see and further than any man can travel. They are strange, bewildering realms from which the rigid laws of our reality were merely suggestions. If we could persuade one who resides in these realms to come to our aid." The Emperor sat for a moment considering, but always he returned to the inescapable truth that the Empire was dying around him. How many of these beings would answer our call? And would they be enough? The demons are terrible in power. "I have strayed in the paths of the future in my dreams, and I have seen three who would come to our aid. Together their might is a match for the demons," answered Ibahadad confidently. The Emperor cast his hands in the air, hope alight in his face for the first time. "Truly the world is wondrous. I have my blessing, Magus. Go forth and call allies, all the resources of them are at your disposal." Ibn Hadad returned to his tower and once again travelled the path of the future. For 3 days and 3 nights he quested, and at last he emerged. He summoned the great conclave of his brothers, and there he ordered them to build a great doorway, a path into the realm that can't be reached by land or by sea. Working together, the Magi built the doorway that would take mortal men months and merely weeks, though many died of exhaustion. When it was done, Ibn Hadad blessed the doorway himself and ordered one of the brothers through. As an emissary to the other realms, patiently they waited for their emissary to return, and return he did a day later. But when they attempted to talk to him, he seemed unable to recognise anyone, and had lost the very power of speech itself. Undeterred, Ibn Hadad sent forth another emissary, and then a third, when the same fate befell the that one. But it was no use, none could speak of what they had seen through the doorway. At last Ibn Hadad sent them away and returned to his tower to travel the paths of the future one last time. When he returned his brothers, he appeared visibly aged, bent and leaning on a staff of office. But in answer he had his brothers forge him a helmet of the finest crystal, weaving potent magic through and around it. Then Ibn Hadad did take the helmet and place it upon his head, and through his brothers beg him not to did stride for the gate himself. The storyteller stops for a moment, surveying his audience. All eyes are on him, and the audience held raptured by his story. He smiled slightly and then continues. For several days and several nights the brothers held vigil before the doorway, but by the 8th day, as most had given up on him, for lost, Ibn Hadad returned. With his brothers questioned him as to why he had been gone for so long. He seemed shocked that so much time had passed, but thoughts of the demons weighed heavily upon him. He brushed aside their questions and announced that he had made a deal with those who dwelled in the darkness on the other side of the doorway. The lords of that place have agreed to send 3 of their number to aid the Empire in exchange for 7 times 7 men would go through the doorway to honour the lords in their realm. 7 times 7 was close to were chosen to follow Ibn Hadad back through the doorway to the otherworldly realms, and truly to their word a week later returned with 3 of the lords accompanying him. Of the other men who accompanied him there were no sign. So basically they wanted 34 people. 7 sevens are 34. Wait, no, that's not right. 40. So I'm just quickly doing the math, so it's 21 away from 70 is 59. Yeah. No, it's 49, yeah. Is it 49? Yeah, it's 49, so they wanted 49 people. Unless my maths is wrong. Maybe. The storyteller stops telling and bows, looking expectantly at the audience. The war, yells one of the guests. Tell us about the war. Tell us how the lord of the other realms cast down the Quintari demons. The storyteller straightens again and raises an eyebrow at the man, smiling like a benevolent uncle teaching lessons to a favoured nephew. 100 tales I can tell of you of the Great War, and still we would all but scratch the surface. Some sages will tell you that the old empire was destined to fall from the day it was born. But the very moment of its ending was written in the stars themselves. The empires and kingdoms, like mortal men, grow tall and enjoy their time in the sun before a brief moment before they too must pass, to make way for those that follow. Thus sages will tell you that the Quintari kingdom was born for but a single purpose, to be an instrument of fate and bring about the destruction of the old empire when the time was right. But that time grows stronger, so do we force the Quintari themselves to grow stronger. For it was their destiny to bring us down, you see. A fate ensured that they were strong enough to do so. That is why the demons came. Our legions could hold the savage Quintari at bay, but even they could not fight fate. Couldn't fight the demons who struggled off blades and arrows, who slaughtered all that was sent against them, countless lives. That is why, though Ibar-Hadad and her allies came and defeated the demons, the old empire could not be saved. The old empire had already fallen, for that was always her fate, die that day in blood and fire. Right, now how should we respond? Do you really believe in demons? Do you believe they are the reasons for? What can you tell me about the Quintari? Were they really bloodthirsty savages, as the stories say? What can you tell me about the lords that came with Ibar-Hadad? Let's try that one. The storyteller much has been written on the subject of the High Lords. Too much, I say, the accounts contradict each other. The High Lords were there, here, no, they were there, nor did they this, they did that. Only one begins to suspect that many of the authors weren't actually present at the events they speak of with such authority. So how did they defeat the Quintari events? Surely there must be some agreement on that. What did they do that our legions and Magi couldn't? On that the stories are silent. They talk at length on the powers of the High Lords. But Galaf the dreamer could set reality at ease, and as you or I ran our hands through water, that would whatever Bar Hafor the flame walker went, the ground itself burned in his wake and flowed like water, and that for Argoth was known as the artificer and constructed devices such that we cannot but dream of, terrible engines and alien machines beyond understanding of mere men. The stories are unanimous on these details, yes, but on how the High Lodge actually defeated the Quintari demons, I'm afraid they are silent. Perhaps only Ibar-Hadad, the first of the Magi, knew that. So, I think we have listened to enough stories today. I'm going to go around and travel around a bit. We are in need of supplies, and we can listen to the stories later. So we shall march out into the world. You see the local inn is a large old building in the middle of town. The signs in front of it welcomes weary travellers and offers an impressive variety of service at a reasonable rate. Let's talk to this gentleman. Trader, you look like you're in the market for some fine clothing and armour. Am I right? Step right up and take a look. Could try stealing from him, browse his wares. Step right up her. Trading without a license is a serious crime. Well, I look like a guardsman, I could try and pass it off, and they are ripping me off at the time. Let's try it. Fail. Look, do I know? Look, I don't know who you are, but my papers are in order, signed by Master Zeno himself. Now beat it. That's not good. Yeah, let's just try and browse. What don't I want? I don't want that. Don't really want the dagger. Or these. I don't really want the light armour. A curved infantry on a dagger, once an oddity, but the jambi became a common weapon on many street gangs, which narrowly started the fall of the Empire. So basically it's like ornamental, but besides that not fantastic. Gaius's map, an ancient map you could acquire from Gaius, who probably didn't need it anymore. There's a lot of metal there. Soda ring. Sodos. Now which one's better? Yatagan, a single-edged curved Turuk long blade. Curved design has been ignored by the Emperor's swordsman, but was welcomed by knife fighters adopted the Yatagan as a deadly and effective long dagger. Damage 5 to 8, speed, armor penetration and full weapon hardness 25%. To hit chance bonus 3%, passive value bonus 4%. What's that compared to mine? This has less weapon hardiness, but has bonus hit chance. I don't need two, really. Oh, is there anything here that I want? Pelium. Or Peli. Basically, the heavy javelins thrown by the legionnaires. They had their tips were designed to bend, so they stuck in sealed armor and rendered the items in question useless. No, I think that's everything. Let's keep going. Quickly jump into my inventory. I'm gonna try out this. Now, where should we go? That seems to be like the market district. Maybe we can just find something over there and let's go to sprint. Get a guy moving a bit quicker. Do I know you? Let's see what this guy has. You near the market. You near the market square when a man in a rich robe approaches you. A moment of your time, kind master. I am Miltiades. So I can't pronounce the name. Miltiades, a merchant by trade. I'm terribly sorry to impose on you, but I am in a bit of a predicament. You see, I deal in the finest armour and weapons. Each item is the work of art, forged from the rarest of metals and crafted to the perfection. Unfortunately, I can't open a shop until I settle the dispute with the commercium, and I can't settle until I can't settle it until I start selling my merchandise. Thus, I have no choice but to beg people to show kindness and buy what they can at greatly reduced prices. I'm asking only for you to be paid for these items, so if it's quite a bargain, would you like to take a look? My wares are in the house nearby. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, a merchant's guild, if you had a dispute with a merchant's guild, it would be that they weren't happy with you trading, so they wouldn't allow you to trade in the town full stop, and if you had outpaid debts, you would just have to sell your goods until you had the money to clear the debts. That's how merchant guilds work. They just want to get paid most of the time. So why is he asking me to come back to his house? I don't know, and my streetwise skill is basically suggesting that there's an outcome. Sounds like a good deal. Maybe it's a little bit too good to be true. One man's misfortune is another man's fortune. It is not so. Commercium ways of doing business are hardly unheard of. However, if you are having doubts, I'm more comfortable paying double at the market. Who am I to argue with you? So for time, maybe. I don't know, this guy's a bit shady, I don't trust him. I'm just gonna keep going. Salt cured meat in most exotic varieties, blood sausages, garum, which is like a spice, slaves. This is a trading class dominated by the Merchants Guild building that cries earn the cries earn their money by yelling best goods, best deals, no official refunds. Please come and take a look, everything on sale today, browse for wares. Ooh, a clothes merchant. Travelling cape. Some interesting hats. Lawmaster's tabard. I think I'm going to grab myself a cape, just because, a cloak I should say, just because it's in the Roman period, and I do fancy looking the part. Now don't we look spiffing? Like a real legionnaire now, if we only had the helmet. I'm waiting for someone. Crates. Plaza Guard. Doubleheaded Axe. Now that's actually, to be honest, that's not that accurate. You had them in like ceremonies and stuff and for executions, but practically a double-headed axe don't really exist historically. They were rather impractical. You see an old bronze statue covered with green pattern and bird droppings. The plaque is missing, probably appropriated a long time ago by some smith, making the identity of the statue the subject of many heated debates amongst the local drunkards. Yeah, you can see this place is really going to ruin. Compost grown vegetables and fruits and vegetables, the smell alone can stop any thief. I don't know, I've grown stuff before and it doesn't smell that bad. Salt cured meats, more gutted varieties, blood sauces, garum, so he's selling the same thing. Merchant grabs some red spice and offers it to you, cupping his dirty old hands. Smell, it's fresh. Rather not, mate, if that's okay with you. Please come and take a look, everything's on sale today. So that's another clothes seller. Don't really need any more clothes. Would like a really nice helmet. What's he selling? Oh, he's just selling the same stuff. White rice, baked goods. I can see the stuff in here. Ooh, armor. Yeah, I'm not stealing stuff from merchants. That's a really quick way to die. Back for more, eh? My entire store is at your disposal, my friend. I'd like a different helmet. A serious helmet for the fighter unconcerned with decoration and ceremony. The auxiliary helmet is reinforced with metal ridges along the cranium for extra protection against overheaded strikes. So what's the difference between that and the Legionnaire's helmet? The standard helmet of the Imperial Legion offers basic protection and cheek guards. The face is open, allowing from action field of view. So damage resistance is free. Actually, wait. To hit penalty is 8. So this gives us less to hit penalty, but less critical strike and less damage resistance. No, I think I'll keep what I've got, thanks. The thing is, I like the seal that I've got at the moment. I really don't want to switch it out. Can't get in there, it's locked. standing in the rich decorated halls of the Commercium. Everywhere you look you see signs of wealth, from the silks and gold woven tapestries lining the walls. Woven tapestries lining the walls to the gilded vases and intricately carved stonework. If money is power, then the interior is designed to convey the message that the Commercium is a very powerful guild. And their guards look very heavily armoured. Can't talk to them. Can I go in here and talk to this guy? Leonos. Yes. Need a job. I don't really want to take jobs for them. Potions, variety, alchemy's components, your eyes start to itch lightly. Whatever ails you, my friend, you've come to the right place. I have potions that can fix your blood circulation, cure headaches, insomnia, make your liver as good as new, which is something you could consider if you were passed to the drink. So what can it be? Oh boy, yeah, they've got quite the crafting thing and I have no clue what I'm doing. Grab one for now. You never can tell. God, it cost me 72, but he only has to pay. He only has to pay. He only gonna pay me 12. Right, is there anything we can see around here? What's we got in our quest book? Journal shows you what's going on. Right, completed. Active the map. Show the map to the Lawmaster Fang. You've acquired an old map. Before you decide to do with it, you might be a good idea to show it to the local Lawmaster and get his opinion on it. I suppose so. Where's this Fang then? We have a map, do we? You can fast travel for different places, blah blah blah. There's a healer, boatman, inn. This is where we are. This is the Merchant's Pilot, Blacksmith, Fang, Tavern, Barracks, Gate, Sandy Town. That was something. We could check out the barracks and see what we could do for the Imperial Legion. Now, where were we? We were here, so let's just check out the blacksmith for a second. He should be nearby. What's that? The window is locked. There's the blacksmith. What do I do? What can I do for you, friend? I'm looking for good weapons and armor. Any advice? Good? Good is a subjective word, my friend. What's good for one fighter may get another fighter killed. Look at this two-handed scimitar, for example. It's an impressive weapon, the undisputed king of swords. Its striking power is unmatched, but it comes at the price that not everyone is willing to pay. It's too slow. Now, the gladius is a much lighter weapon. Its advantage is that isn't the power but the speed. Same goes for the armour. Nothing beats heavy armour when it comes to protecting you from battle. But don't expect to be able to move very fast if you're wrapped in sheets of metal. Take a look at my wares and see if you can find something that you fit your style. A few dents in my armour, can you fix it? Maybe learning blacksmithing would be useful, but let's see if you can fix my armour for now. It's going to cost you. So in the damage. Free for the repair my shield. You hear the blacksmith hammering something on the anvil before you reach the smithy. The sign in front says "Affordable Cold Iron Weapons, Real Steel Dug up from old battlefields." Now that's actually interesting. That was a technique that they used to actually use. What the Vikings used to do with some of their swords was that they used to make metal bars basically, and you would bury the metal bars in the ground and then dig them up after a period of time. Next, he removed a lot of the impurities, because impurities are the first things to go in metal, because they're the weakest. Browse wares. Yeah, this is a lot like the that is nice. Iron Legionnaire's helmet. $75 gold from Iron Auxiliary's helmet. Don't know. How much is that? 250 gold for Segmenta, Larissa Segmenta, basically segmented armor. Oof, expensive. I might go for a Gladius actually, Metal Gladius. What if I got equipped? I don't know, I'll save my money for now. So they pick up blacksmithing. Don't know, it doesn't feel right. There's a lot of ruined stuff around here. Well, Feng is supposed to be nearby. Let's see what we had to do for him before we do anything else. Yeah, I'm not trying to clamber that, thank you very much. Don't sell processed artifacts for nothing, come and see Feng first. You see a signpost that says, yeah, that's basically what we've read. What's this on the other side? Our front door eaten nearly through by dry rot can barely conceal the barren, musty interior. There's clearly nothing to be gained from invading what little privacy the inhabitants have left. I don't think there's anyone living there, to be honest, mate. It looks even run down, even by anybody's standards. In a world of its own, downhill, the future. On its way downhill, the future lies in preserving the pre-war knowledge. Hold on, sorry, it's just here. In a world on its way downhill, the future lies in preserving the pre-war knowledge. Lawmasters, the self-proclaimed experts of antiquity, are at the front line of this trade, digging through the ruins, copying ancient manuscripts, trading bits and pieces of pre-war knowledge, and appraising anything that looks old. Feng, the Lawmaster, turns to you. What do you want? Feng came to Taron with a caravan 2 decades ago. Nobody knew where he'd come from or why, but he had the bitterness of a man soured by memory of a life he lost. He was well versed in languages and the antiquities, but the town had already had a lawmaster. Fortunately for Feng, that lawmaster soon fell sick and passed away, despite the best efforts of the local alchemist, who was quite puzzled by his symptoms. Shortly thereafter, Feng became the new lawmaster and even earned the favour of Lord Antides after discovering a number of the Ratan derelicts. What is it? Asked Fan with irritation, acknowledging your presence and putting down some mechanism he was studying. Can you appraise something for me? Show him the trader's map. A wise choice. Many people sell very valuable items without realising their true value. Let me see. This, I can't believe it. It can't be. Feng puts the map down, looking shocked. This, my friend, is an extremely valuable artifact. I'll be honoured to research it for you, but it will cost you 50 imperials. Let's try with streetwise. Easy there, Fang. Let's leave this valuable artifact act to farmers and discuss a reasonable price. Fang chuckles. Alright. We will leave the act to farmers then. This is a very old map for this very old map of this region. I wouldn't pay 10 coins for it, but I know someone who would pay you at least 100 imperials. That's what you'll pay me 20 imperials for. Do we have a deal? You gain a new insight into the liberal arts and trades, which can be used to increase your non-combat skills. You have 1 civic point skill. Here's the money, but what else can you tell me about this map? Not much to tell you, to be honest, Feng smirks. Smirk suggests that being honest is simply something he isn't good at. The map bears the seal of Thor Argoth the Artificer, one of the High Lords. I assume that his temple is in the middle. That's all I can really tell you. Talk to the Antides. We want to know more. You pay 20 gold. You gain 10 import. That's a lot. Increase your skills. The High Lords? You heard about the War of the Qatari at least. You know the ones that turned the entire continent to a wasteland. It says that during the war both sides summoned supernatural allies from other planes of existence, if you believe in such nonsense. Many lawmasters tell you that the Quantari summoned demons from fiery pits of the other world, while we of course summoned gods from some heavenly abode. But the truth is that nobody knows what really happened. What we do know is that the empire crumbled and fell, leaving us ruins, handfuls of towns and stories to scare our children with. Fascinating. I'll go pay Lord Antides a visit then. It goes without saying that he doesn't pay me. I'll be back to finish our conversation. Wait, you look like a capable man. There's a small matter I'd like to talk to you about. Lord Antides has invited another lawmaster to Tehran. Antides. Lord Antides has invited another lawmaster to Tehran. Needless to say, I don't share his opinion that 2 heads are better than 1, and I'm very grateful if you could find a way to get rid of the new lawmaster. His name is Cassius. He's probably at the inn already, so don't waste any time. How grateful are we talking about? I'll consider it. I really don't want to kill this guy. I really don't want to kill him, because if he's been invited here by the Lord and I kill him, that's going to really peeve off the Lord. But maybe, I got an idea, maybe if we go on, because this whole game is about deception and stuff and making ends meet. Is that the end sign? Welcome to the last meal, eat, drink, fuck. 1 low price. Well, at least they're honest about what they're offering. Though I doubt they had cigarettes in the Roman period. For I do believe they did take narcotics and stuff. Now where would this guy be? Don't see anyone who could be as a storyteller. Oh, he's not telling me anything. Where could he be, I wonder? I'd rather not knock off someone important, to be honest. Can't get in there. We are almost out of time for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Cornish-Knight. If you've enjoyed, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe and follow, please press the subscription button below. I will catch you all next time as we press on with our adventure and try and figure out how we're going to try and get some money for this blasted map. And try and figure out where this Cassius guy is. I don't really want to kill him, and I don't want to take the contract for killing him, so We'll have to figure that all out next time. Goodbye.